Miller here from Asleep at Last. Welcome to another one of my videos. Please remember to hit subscribe to be notified of when I do new videos. So this video is talking about all things sleep training. Sleep training is one of those things that comes with a lot of confusion, a lot of judgment, a lot of fear about how to do it, when to do it, what does it look like. And I just wanted to explore that a bit in this video today. And hopefully give you the confidence that if it's something that you feel that you want to do, that you feel like it's possible for you. So first of all, when can you sleep train? So babies can't biologically self-settle before 16 weeks. So before then, when they're newborns, they will need your assistance. After 16 weeks, you can teach them to self-settle, and that's all sleep training is. It's teaching them the skill of self-settling, and it is a learned skill. It's not something that they can do naturally on their own. You do have to teach them it, and the difficulty is that they've had 16 weeks of assistance. So depending on what you've been doing, that's where it's tricky to then all of a sudden, okay, now what do I do now? How do I just stop doing what I was doing? And it's not as simple as just stop doing what you were doing, because if you just stop, you know, your baby is going to protest that. They're going to cry, they're going to scream. That's going to distress you. It's going to upset you. You eventually say, no, I can't do this. So then you end up going back to what you were doing with the assisting. And then that can be confusing for the baby and make you more nervous about sleep training again. So the best thing to do is have a plan. So have a think about what kind of child you've got in terms of temperament, what assistance you've been using, you as a parent, and what you feel what you feel comfortable doing in terms of sleep training, and pick a method that you are comfortable with. So with my clients, I take everything into consideration. I send them a questionnaire, I get all the information through, and I decide which method I think would be the best one for them as a family. And that's basically the key to it. Picking the right method for you and then sticking to it. So committing to it for 1 to 2 weeks, clearing the diary, saying, right, this is what we're doing, you and your partner being on the same page, deciding how you're going to do it, deciding who's going to do it, reading around it, understanding it, asking any questions and getting some support and advice if you need to on it, to make sure that you know exactly what you're doing. Because the other thing is that a lot of times people don't fully understand the methods that they're carrying out and misunderstand them and do them incorrectly, and that's why they don't work. Because you really want to set yourself up for success. You want it to work first time. You don't want to have to do it ever again. You don't want to have to end up giving up. You don't want to have to feel like it's going to be a really distressing, stressful process. Don't get me wrong, in the first few days there will be lots of tears. It can be really difficult, again, depending on what you've been doing. It can be tricky, and that's where having some support from somebody like an expert really does help guide you through that. But once you push through that first few nights, when you see how quickly the child learns to settle themselves and how much that will increase their sleeping during the night and how well that will improve their naps during the day, you will never look back and you won't regret doing it. There's lots of fear around the crying that's involved with sleep training. You know, crying is very distressing for us as parents. It's important for us to remember that the child is crying because that's how they communicate, and we're their parents, we know what's best for them. And so sometimes what's best for them is to have to tolerate a bit of crying short term in order for the long term gain. So yeah, it's about your getting your mindset in the right frame of mind as well, and being strong with it, and knowing that the crying, whilst it's going to be distressing and triggering for you, it will not damage your child. Absolutely will not damage your child or your bond with them. That is a complete myth that, you know, a child's bond with you is damaged from abandonment and neglect, and that's not what you're doing when you're teaching your child to sleep by themselves. Sleep is important, sleep is necessary, it's essential for our survival, and so, you know, it's something that obviously I feel very passionate about. And so yeah, it's about, there's many methods out there, you know, there's ones where you can stay in the room, there's ones where you can leave the room. There's slower ones, faster ones. There are lots of books on different methods as well that you can read up on. It's about finding the one that you feel comfortable with and you're more likely to see through to the end. Being consistent is absolutely key in order for it to work. And yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell when it comes to sleep training. It's just teaching your child to go to sleep independently. You can still reassure them. It's not that you're never going to go to them ever again if they cry in the middle of the night. My daughters are 7 and 4, and they still wake up frequently and cry out for me in the middle of the night if they've had a bad dream, if their blanket's fallen off their bed, if they aren't feeling well, or they just want to cuddle. They still call out to me. So it's important to remember that and think about how, if you're struggling with lack of sleep and you can see that your child is struggling, sometimes it's just doing what you need to do, despite how scary it may seem. And once it's done, it's done. Like I say, it's very short-lived, 1 to 2 weeks. So my top tips for getting ready for sleep training and doing sleep training is, firstly, prepare yourself and get into the right frame of mind for it, get into the right mindset. Clear your diary for a couple of weeks and know that you can be committed to this. Have a plan of action that you are on the same page with your partner on. Pick a method that you are comfortable with and you're going to see through to the end. Be consistent with it, and you will get your child sleeping independently, and that will encourage them to sleep through the night. So I hope you found that useful, guys. Please hit like if you did, and remember to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for listening.